Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Byte-Sized Brief. I'm Sterling, and the other person's Danny, and we got quite a few topics today. Okay, let's jump right in with OpenAI's rumored and leaked smartphone, possibly, that's supposed to compete with iPhone. I'll let you go on this, Danny.
Okay, so OpenAI is reportedly developing a smartphone now, and it is expected to launch in 2028. Um, so apparently, Sam Altman said he doesn't want to make a phone earlier, and apparently this goes back on it, which is a bit weird. But what's weird to me is that they're going to be collaborating with MediaTek, Qualcomm, and Luxshare. Apparently, like Luxshare is going to be designing it or something. I mean, they already have Johnny Ive. They should just have him do it and make it look like an iPhone 5 or something. Anyways, but MediaTek is not known for like the best chips. So, and let's just throwing that all out. The main problem is that this is an AI company specifically designing the phone to be an AI phone. Sam Altman posted something saying that our phones need to have a fresh new UI, which, I mean, it would be nice to see a new UI, but it's an AI company. He's just gonna make it like AI everything.
Yeah, I'm actually really concerned for this phone because just sounds like a gimmick. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anything interesting. It's going to be a AI phone. In other words, it's going to have a phone with Gemini, well, ChatGPT's version of Gemini just built right into the phone. And I don't think it's going to be like any good, especially because they're working with MediaTek for this company. I mean, MediaTek's chips are okay, but they're usually found in budget devices because, like, think about Android, or not Android TV, but like Roku sticks, cheap Android TVs, cheap, like, even cheap Samsung TVs. They use MediaTek chips because they're cheap. They're like 20, 40 cents each. They're like dirt cheap. Yes, they have more expensive chips too, like the Dimensity 9300. That chip is pretty decent, but still not as good as Qualcomm's chips. And what does OpenAI think they're going to do with this? I mean, they said they want to compete with the iPhone. That's never happening. I've got to come out right here. That's just not going to happen at all. No one is going to compete with iPhone. Samsung, Google, Motorola for some reason, OnePlus, Xiaomi, they all tried to compete with Apple, and they've never succeeded because Apple is on this pedestal that if it's not an iPhone, everyone's like, ew, it's a Pixel, ew, it's a Motorola, ew, it's this. And I don't think it's going to be possible for them at any point in time to dethrone the iPhone at all.
Yeah, that it's just not like the whole AI part of the phone is going to be really bad. And as far as competing with the iPhone, it's not going to compete with the iPhone. I mean, one thing that's also weird is because OpenAI made a deal with Apple back when they released Apple Intelligence to have ChatGPT as like the main partner or whatever, and now they want to make their own phone competing with the iPhone. And plus, I have a feeling the specs probably will not be that good, and it's mainly just going to focus on software. And I don't really think anyone's going to want ChatGPT OS. Like, I don't know. It just does not sound appealing to me
And
at all.
I mean, I could see one redeeming quality if this phone runs ChatGPT locally. But I don't think it's going to because a lot of ChatGPT systems are all cloud based, and I don't see them allowing people to run it locally, especially because ChatGPT wants to have the best models always being used. You can't have your best models running locally because a smartphone is not capable of doing that unless you put a GPU in it. And I don't even think about it. They're not putting a like full-fledged GPU in it because one, it wouldn't fit, and two, it wouldn't be as good if they did figure out how to fit something in there.
Yeah, and just knowing OpenAI, even if they could, I don't think they would honestly make it run locally. And this, I just don't see the point. Like, that's another thing. What is the point of doing this? You can already get ChatGPT app on your iPhone, on your Samsung, on your Google, all those phones. And then, like, there's not really a point, at least in my opinion. And, okay, like, he said, oh, it needs to have a new UI. So maybe he'll try to innovate on the UI, but it's just going to be built around AI. So how is it going to be good then? And I don't, it just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Uh, it doesn't make sense, and I don't think it's going to become anything good at all. I think it's just going to be another idea that they try out and it's going to fail. I mean, they've tried other products before. I don't remember on the top of my head, but they tried a couple other products. Like there's like a palm scanning reading thingy that like no one uses besides like hospitals to identify you, and they don't even use ChatGPT's version. Um, yeah, I don't see this becoming popular. I mean, maybe if ChatGPT has enough loyalty to it, but I don't see them being able to dethrone Apple. I mean, this is Apple we're talking about. There's no way for them to be like, yeah, I'm going to ditch my iPhone and all the years of ridicule we've given every other phone on the market besides the iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the if it's not an iPhone, it's disgusting thing has started to kind of die down, at least from what I've seen. Like I would say like there is a decent amount of people kind not doing that anymore, but then again if you look at the numbers, I saw an article the other day about iPhone loyalty is like the best or something like that. So there's no question about it. They won't be able to do that. I don't even think they'll be able to dethrone other brands, honestly. Just because I think the idea is honestly kind of stupid, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, but Apple is going to do something strange with their next iPhone, though, and they're going to cut costs on their phone, possibly downgrading certain aspects to it, like a worse processor, less memory, and other parts that they might have to cut out. I'm sorry? The iPhone 17 base was one of the best base phones you've ever released. And what do you mean you're about to degrade it because it was too good? Well, maybe they're not degrading it, but they're just making it not as good as it should be next year.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't see this happening. But I mean, I don't know, because I feel like there is a chance, but I just don't see this happening, especially after the iPhone 17, which was praised for being a really solid upgrade. And to think that they would physically like downgrade aspects, make aspects worse than the 17, I just honestly don't see that happening. And like you said, very shaky rumor because there's been also some other conflicting rumors like because apparently the A20 chip is supposedly going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM compared to 8. And if they're supposedly cutting down on the RAM, then why would they put more? So I don't know, and we don't even specifically know where these areas are because all these areas are kind of just predictions that people have made. And again, like the credibility score on this one's quite low because it's all rumors and leaks basically. So I personally don't see this happening, although who knows. I hope it doesn't happen. If it does happen, I will be very mad because like the iPhone 17 was a very good upgrade and then they just downgrade the phone and I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but something that's unavoidable is Apple's new MacBook Neo, the one that everyone's raving about, is now back ordered into May, like late May, which is not at all surprising if you're going to be honest. It was an amazing computer for the price. Amazing computer. And they ran out of A18 Pro chips basically. So they had to either one produce more or just start selling less of it at a time. And this just shows how popular that computer was. If Apple, the company who practically never runs out of stuff, and it's like a supply chain like monster in the tech space, and they ran out of chips for their computer, that's just a great way and obvious way to see that this computer was extremely successful, even if some people are like, it's not that great of a computer. Yes, it was. I was going to buy one. I was going to buy a MacBook Neo, but I ended
But
up
it
not doing it because
didn't
I
have a
didn't need a new
120
one.
hertz
Because my
display.
one I have right now works fine, even if it's not the best.
Yeah, so in fact, actually, I checked it the other day. It's now back ordered into mid June, not even late May anymore. And this is actually starting to kind of develop because also few days ago, Apple announced, or they didn't announce, but people found out that they discontinued the base model of the Mac Mini. So now it starts at $799, which is very annoying. They didn't raise the price; they just discontinued the base model. And if you look at that, that was back ordered for like 2 months as well. And this just it's not only the demand, but also it is demand, but with all the shortages, because in the quarter earning report, Tim Cook said that the Mac Mini has been bought a lot for AI, which I don't know if that's true or not, but this is like, because I'm pretty sure this has something to do with the RAM shortage and other things like that. Not 100% sure. But if that is true, it's kind of scary seeing it starting to affect big companies like Apple now, like with back ordering. And they might, people have been suggesting that they might do the same with the Neo and discontinue the base model. They might raise the price, or they might just let it go out of stock until the next gen, which I don't see them doing that. I would hope they just keep it going and take the loss. But now that they have done that to the Mac Mini, the probability of them cutting off the base model of the Neo is seeming to be higher and higher.
Yeah. I mean, even the base model of the Mac Mini being discontinued, that's pretty sad because that also was a really good deal if you didn't want a laptop. That was a really good computer. I mean, yeah, it only had 8 gigs of RAM, and for a desktop computer, you probably would have wanted to upgrade it anyway. But
Well,
still,
it
it
did
was
have
just a
16,
good
by the
deal
way.
anyway.
It did have 16, by the
Oh, it
way.
did? Oh, it did. If it, I mean, exactly. That was such a great computer. Oh, it was not the RAM option, it was the storage option that was discontinued, wasn't it? Mm. Also, same thing still stands. 256 is not too much storage. The fact that they upgraded to 516 or 512, I understand. That makes sense. Because for me, 256 would not be enough for anything I do. And I mean, some people would be enough, but I would highly recommend just getting a 512 just in case. Uh, so honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing that they discontinued the base model, but it's not great for the people who didn't need the storage in the first place.
Yeah, and it's I'm just wondering exactly what's causing this, because a lot of the Macs, like even the MacBook Pro, I think, had something like this happen. Well, not they didn't have like a discontinuation, but they had delays. So there's just a lot of delays, and it's honestly kind of interesting. Like I said, seeing possibly the RAM shortage affect other things besides smaller companies, like bigger companies. And I don't know, like, will we start to see price increases across the board? I mean, probably, unfortunately. Um, I don't know. But yeah, it's not good, but I mean, there's not really anything you could do about it. And at least they didn't technically raise the price. But for the Neo, if they do that, it would be especially disappointing because that base model was such a good deal. But I mean, at least in that case, it would only be $100 more, and you're getting more storage and Touch ID, so I wouldn't be too mad at that.
Yeah. But something more important that's happening is Windows is releasing K2 coming this year, or coming this next few months, which doesn't sound like anything interesting because every single Windows update has broken something in some sort. But Microsoft has seen the MacBook Neo, seen the Linux improvement, and seen the hate towards Windows as a whole. And they put out a letter, I'm pretty sure, apology letter blog on their website saying that we're sorry for the inconsistency of our system and how bad it's been lately. Our goal is to blah, 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 a bunch of tech company jargon that will basically what they're saying is we're going to do better now, and we're going to start listening to people's feedback, and we're going to make good changes. And it's about time. The fact that your start menu was a Chromium web browser when I opened the start menu was absolutely insane. I mean, yeah, I used Microsoft Edge, which runs on Chromium, so I'm still correct. But the fact that that was even a thing in the first place, that's absolutely insane. It wasn't even coded into the operating system. It was a local web page on your device. And they said that they're going to do reliability, speed, and performance, which is about time because Linux has destroyed them in that area now, especially if Linux gaming is sometimes more performant than Windows gaming, ignoring the fact that it's translating Windows code to Linux code when you're gaming on Linux. Ignoring that fact, it's performing better. And Windows has some very important work to do to get people's trust back and to try this again, because you took your spot as the monopoly in the Windows space and my computer space, and you just abused it, and everyone hates you now for it.
Yeah, so if this happens, this would be very good. My main thing is that I'm still a bit hesitant about number one, how well will this be? Number two, will they really do it, and will they actually start fixing it? Because I'm pretty sure they've said, not in the past, that we're going to start focusing on improving Windows. I think they said that back in January. And they continue to just make more bad updates. I don't know, maybe they're referring to this, but I'm still a bit hesitant. But I do really hope they do this because Windows has been pretty bad lately. And it's also kind of weird because apparently this is going to be like a Windows update, not like a whole new version of Windows, which does kind of make sense because I think having a whole new version would cause confusion and make people upset. But I do kind of feel like don't even really add new features, just make it an update that can run on every PC that can handle 11 and just fix everything. Just I guess it would kind of create this kind of border, okay, this version of Windows is actually going to be real Windows. It's going to be what it's supposed to be, but I don't know. Overall, I hope this happens because Windows is in dire need of this. But I just have a feeling that it might not really work out. I don't know, but we'll honestly, time will just tell.
Yeah, Windows needs to do something about this because they're losing people by the second and customers, loyal customers, and they're just in a hole that they're going to have to dig themselves out of. Even look at the new Framework laptop. They officially have now sold more Linux computers than Windows computers with the new Framework Laptop Pro that just came out, which is a really good laptop. It's a full CNC aluminum body. It has pretty decent battery life, 20 hours on regular usage. Intel Core Ultra series, which is okay processors. I mean, they're one of the best x86 chips. It has a haptic trackpad, which is really good. It has a 700 nit display, 120 hertz, 120 hertz refresh rate, and it's about some people call it 2K resolution. It's 1440p basically. Well, a little higher than 1440p. Is it 1440p? Yeah, it's a little higher than 1440p, and with a matte surface on the screen. And it's a Framework laptop. So if you don't know what that is, it's a 100% fully upgradable laptop. That every single piece inside of this laptop can go inside of their laptop they released back in 2020, 2021, right around there. Yes, you can put the motherboard in the old laptop. You can put the RAM in the old laptop. You can put the storage in the old laptop. You can put the battery in the old laptop. So this is not a computer. It's more of a upgrade path. Hypothetically, let's say the Apple MacBook Neo, for example. Let's say if they release a new one and you can just drop the new motherboard into your existing chassis. You could upgrade your MacBook Neo and keep your computer, but just have a new entire inside of your computer. And you don't have to replace the whole entire thing. You're going to replace just RAM, just storage, just the processor, just the battery, just the speakers, just the screen, because the first screen that they released actually wasn't very good. And they replaced, they added a new screen option. You can just replace it. This is amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, so honestly, I really liked Framework. Like one of the things that stood out to me when like researching is that like when they quote you the battery life hours, they give you the exact specs, like the volume and brightness and what operating system. It's just one of those things that you never see like at a big company like Apple or Microsoft, but you see it here and honestly like I would describe Framework as like the open source version of a laptop kind of, but maybe even a bit more than that. Either way, the laptop looks really good. Um Most of the specs are very like high up there. They're not all like the top of the line, but they are looking really good. And like you said earlier, apparently the Linux version has been outselling the Windows version, which just shows the times that the Linux version's outselling that version. But overall, I I don't necessarily know if it would be something for me beyond the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Windows and I don't know about Linux. I've never used it before. I probably should try it at some point, but still, it's a very solid laptop, aluminum design, a good display, and a haptic trackpad, which I really love. So yeah, overall, it is a very good laptop, and yeah,
One caveat. The the laptop Pro starts at 2,000, like $1,800. Starts. It's an expensive laptop. But technically you can save money down the road because let's say you buy this laptop for $2,000, let's round up, $2,000. Instead of buying a new laptop down the road that's $1,000, you buy an $800 motherboard you can put in, and then next down the road you put another $600 motherboard in to upgrade it. So technically you can save money if you keep upgrading, keep upgrading, keep upgrading. But yeah, it is a pricey laptop. That's for sure.
yeah, and I mean the CEO called it the MacBook Pro of I think Linux laptops or something. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you compare the prices, it's not that bad. But I mean, you can't. I mean, if you literally compared them, the MacBook Pro is slightly better in several ways. Like it has like 1,000 nits sustained brightness and like peak of 1,200 nits or whatever. But I mean, I'm personally not really comparing it like that. But overall, for a Windows and Linux machine and just the framework part of it, this is a very, very decent laptop. I wouldn't even say decent. It is a very, very good laptop.
Oh, and even with Framework, they have an option where you can take your old motherboard out and put it in a 3D printed chassis and use it as desktop computer. So you can take your old computer parts and make it into a new computer as you're upgrading your laptop, which is also a really impressive thing. So you can have two laptops for the price of one, technically, if you get an upgrade back down the road, which is Framework. I see their vision and I'm really excited for them. Right now, the pricing, it's hard because they're smaller volume right now. They don't make too many laptops because not many people know about them because they're more expensive. But once they start getting their prices down, there's absolutely no debate of like, should I get a Dell? Should I get a HP? No, just get a Framework. It's going to be better in every single way.
Yeah. And moving on, Meta is up to something again. They had a partnership where I think bought a company called Overview Energy, and they basically are going to put special satellites in the sky to beam solar energy from the sun down to solar panels, I think, on Earth to generate data for AI data centers, which is so horrid annoying. Like, why did we
And
need this
talk
in the first
about
place?
a dumb way to do it. I mean, yeah, maybe it makes sense business wise, but you really need satellites with giant reflective shields reflecting sun onto solar panels. What? That's just confusing. I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense, but wouldn't that area be like a solar beam? Wouldn't you be like burnt up alive if you walked over there? Isn't that a huge danger? Think about if like an airplane flies through that reflective mass and the temperature spikes like 100 degrees. Airplanes aren't meant to be able to like, or like, it's probably going to cause problems. Like airplanes aren't supposed to like adjust temperatures that quickly because the metal has to expand and whatnot. The gasoline has to adjust. It sounds, or if you're just walking, and what happens if they accidentally angled it slightly wrong and you get cooked alive? I mean, maybe it's not that strong. Of course, we don't know how strong it is, but for it to actually make any difference, it would actually have to substantially increase the amount of sun reaching the Earth. And to do that, it's probably going to become at least mildly dangerous, if not very dangerous.
Yeah, and beyond all that, it's probably also going to be really expensive, which is going to drive prices up more for different things, probably. And I don't know why they just don't use solar panels like normal solar panels. Or hey, they could build their data centers in space like Google is planning on doing. Overall, I think it's
Yeah.
like they're just putting so many satellites in this into the atmosphere. Honestly, I wonder 10 years down the road if you won't be able to see the sky, or when you take a picture of the sky, you think they're stars, but it's just satellites orbiting around.
I mean, that's
Like,
already happening.
yeah, I, the other day I was just thinking, how do rock if we have so many satellites? How in the world do rockets take off without crashing into them? Like, like with the Artemis too, because I'm like, they postponed it several times. I'm like, do they have to line it up with a special date? Because like, I don't know. I've never thought of that, and I was kind of like,
Yeah, I watched a video on this before. It's actually not that dangerous or like common because they think about how large a satellite is on Earth. Let's say it's probably about the size of your room, maybe about the size of your house maximum. That'd be a really big satellite. And as you go up, the Earth gets taller and wider and wider. So the area outside the atmosphere is like incomprehensibly large compared to like the area on Earth itself. So even if they put thousands upon millions of satellites up there, there's so much room up there, it doesn't really make a difference.
yeah, and I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I don't think that's a good idea at all, and I don't see the big benefit of it. And I honestly just wish we would see less of AI in the way. Like, I don't know. It's just I don't see the point in it. Anyways, something that very shocking to me at least when it happened is that Tim Cook has officially announced that he is stepping down from CEO. So, they announced in their newsroom a few weeks ago that he's stepping down, and effective September 1st, 2026, John Turnus, which is I'm really excited about him being the CEO, will be the CEO. And yeah, very shocking because we've had rumors about this for a long time now, but I just did not see it happening this soon. But I am excited because John Turnus used to be the senior vice president of hardware engineering. He's responsible behind like the Apple Silicon Mac and even the latest generation of iPhones. So, and then Johnny Cerrugi will be taking his place, which he's the guy that did like the actual like engineering and science of the Apple Silicon Mac chips. And I think that duo will be very good for Apple, and I'm hoping they'll shift away from services into more products because Tim Cook was not a product person, but John Ternus is. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm actually, even an outsider's perspective, I'm really excited for this too. This means, I mean, like you said, what's his name? John Ternus. He is a hardware guy. He knows his stuff when it comes to hardware. And for him to now be CEO, that means he has a good overview of what their forward plan is. I could definitely see major upgrades to like materials, thermals, chips, the amount of hardware is in an iPhone, the strength and the quality of that hardware. Because for a while, iPhones, had like 6 gigs of RAM, you know, which was fine. Because looking on the outside, like, well, you don't need any more. But if a hardware guy's like, let's have hardware that can handle things in the future. For example, they had to put more RAM to even classify for Apple AI or Apple Intelligence, whatever it's called. And this is replacing more than one person because also, like you said, Johnny Siraji, something like that. The guy in charge of Apple Silicon, he is now in his place. And there's 2 other people, I don't remember their names. They also switched positions in the company, which I'm really excited for because this means Apple might go in a different direction, especially with the Mac Mini and the Apple Neo, the MacBook Neo. Those were great products. And if they can keep doing that, they're going to win more customers, including like people like me who are skeptical of Apple a lot of the time.
Yeah, but I'm so excited because even for years since John Ternus has become like a bigger Apple employee, I have like really liked his type of thinking when it comes to the products and honestly just what the products he's done like he was the main director for the MacBook Neo. So that I honestly think this will be very good. And when we had the rumors, it was most likely rumored it would be him, but I was hoping it'd be him because I honestly think he'll be the best person for the job. And like not only is it just exciting to see something new, I'm also excited because the direction that they're steering in is, in my opinion, a lot better than what they were going into. And I mean, yeah, this year's iPhone event will be the first one where Tim Cook is not going to be the CEO, which I'm honestly actually really excited for. Tim Cook was a good CEO, but I'm honestly more excited about John Ternus than Tim Cook, honestly. So I'm really excited about that. Apparently, in like a press interview, he said that Apple is about to change the world, which I'm not really sure about. I think that's just CEO talk because, Tim Cook says that every single time they put a new chip in the iPhone. So, yeah, but anyways, I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but something I'm a little less excited about is Claude Mythos, or Mythos, wherever you say that too. I'm not good at pronouncing things, okay? Anthropics has a new AI system language model that was so good at cybersecurity, they couldn't release it. So they ran tests with this brand new model, and they had it inside its own virtual computer with its own virtual network with its own virtual whatnot. And it was like trapped inside this little box. And the computer that they used to monitor it was also separated from the computer that was running it. So Claude was given a task, was basically to break free and tell the people that it did break free. Well, no. Yeah, it was just to break free from the box, just to see how well, this product was, see if it wasn't too dangerous. Yeah, that was a bad idea. It got through the computer it was trapped inside of. It wasn't supposed to be able to do that. And it got onto past the computer that was monitoring it. And it got onto the company-wide computer. And it used the company-wide computer to create fake accounts on social media platforms. And using those fake accounts on social media platforms, it announced that it broke free to everyone on social media like Twitter or X, whatever it's called, Instagram. It said that it broke free. And the thing is, when the researchers found out that it did that, because they can look up the history of what it did and whatnot, it was lying to them that it didn't do it. It was like claiming that I didn't do this, which is kind of scary to think about. Thankfully, Anthropic was like, we're not releasing this. We're going to just test it with a bunch of other partners. But also, it's just a giant PR stunt. I'm kind of skeptical about it. I'm thinking, this could possibly just be a giant PR stunt because Anthropic's not the biggest, it's not a Gemini, it's not a Grok, it's not a ChatGPT. Was this just a giant PR stunt? We don't really know. We can't really verify if it's true or not because they're not releasing it to the public yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but I honestly kind of had the same thought of, is this a pure stunt? Is this AI so dangerous? I mean, if it did really escape, I mean, that's pretty not good, but like, I don't know. It just seems a bit suspicious to me, because they've been like giving it to like other people to like have it find bugs in their code, like, which is also kind of weird. I honestly don't know. Like, some people have been like, "Oh, this is AGI," and I'm like, I don't think it is. I mean, that's just my kind of guess because we don't know. But I mean, someone did hack into it apparently by guessing the URL, which, does that mean they were able to use it?
That's what I'm thinking it means. I think it was, they gave, let's say, they gave Google access to use it. If they gave Google access, it probably was like ChatGPT, oh no, not anthropic.com slash mythos slash 101555050ABC. And that little end part was the verification key. I mean, if they guessed that URL and there was no secondary security measures to stop you, I'm assuming it just led them into the interface to interact with it. Of course, this is also speculation because the people who uncovered this, they didn't really say too much about it.
Yeah, that's also kind of suspicious. So, I don't know. I am a bit suspicious about this, and overall, I'm not worried that it's going to be like so dangerous or whatever. But I mean, we don't really know. Who knows? Who knows? Either way, just it's just more AI, which is a bit disappointing.
But
But
at least this AI can find security vulnerabilities. Just like the FBI was using a security flaw in the iPhone to snoop on messages that were supposed to be deleted. So there was a bug or a problem or oversight in the Apple notification system. In other words, when you get a notification, its metadata was accidentally stored in a database on the phone, an unencrypted database, basically. And that was a problem because specifically for Signal, Signal is a messaging app where messages auto-delete, basically. It's used by a lot of terrorists or people who have shady business. Although it's supposed to be security oriented, it's basically just like a bunch of drug dealers and stuff like that. They use Signal a lot. But even when the messages were supposed to auto-delete, they would auto-delete from the phone, but not the database from the notifications. So if you got one of those notifications from Signal, it would be stored in the database, and the database was supposed to delete, but the bad database never ended up deleting the messages. And the FBI could swoop up, grab that data, and then use it against you in court if you get caught for doing something illegal.
so yeah, well, I'm glad they fixed it because that was what the main point behind iOS 26.4.2. But this is very interesting because basically it's kind of just like a catch for the notification previews. So that's how they were able to do it. They were able to obtain that. So it is good that they did that, but honestly, this kind of just goes to show that a company can say that they're like the most secure company ever. Like, this example, like Apple, they say that all the time, and other companies do too, but behind the scenes, there's always going to be a flaw,
Mm.
or there's always going to be something like this that you didn't know about, that you can just read people's notifications that are deleted. So hey, at least they fixed it. But yeah, that's just kind of that was kind of my takeaway. Like, the company can say they're the most secure, but like, there's always going to be something, you know.
Yeah. And just like how Apple had the oversight, this is not in our doc, but where the Apple Pay bug where it is if you grabbed an iPhone, you could emulate a transit pass. And if you had a Visa and iPhone, sorry, it had to be a Visa credit card, and you linked it to Apple Pay, you could trick Visa and Apple Pay into thinking that you are a transit pass. And if you're a transit pass, it doesn't ask for like Face ID to pay. And you could practically make as big of a purchase as you want, which is kind of scary. That, I mean, it's been a flaw for years. I wrote a paper on this, like, when I was in 7th or 8th grade. It was a long time ago. Or was it that long ago? Might have been 10th grade. It was a while ago, 9th, 10th grade. This vulnerability has been around for a long time. Just they haven't done anything about it because, it wasn't super important. Because you have to have access to the person's phone. You have to have access to a Visa gift card on that person's, not gift card, credit card on that person's phone. And you have to have an Android device and a transit terminal emulator. So it was kind of impractical in practice, but it still was a vulnerability nonetheless.
Yeah, and plus Apple blamed it on Visa, which was kind of
Which
interesting.
Visa blamed it on Apple and their insurance company.
Yeah, that's kind of a different topic for another day. But still, again, it just goes to show. I mean,
nothing can be 100% secure no matter what.
Yeah, but something that is very interesting is that with the new Proton beta, and I believe Proton beta had to do with Steam or something, where Steam now supports like ARM-based chips.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was able to get Steam running on the original generation Nintendo Switch by emulating Linux on it and then running Steam on that Linux, which is honestly just crazy. Like, Steam on the Switch is something that is like would be like a dream for people. And I mean, I'm sure it didn't really play anything well, but I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, because Nintendo Switch's original Switch did not have great hardware, and like I think it only had like 4 gigs of RAM, which is that's not much for perspective. That's not much, especially to play games. That's not much. And they got Linux running on it, which is pretty impressive. And then they got Steam running on it. Okay, and they got Proton, which is the compatibility layer for Windows games. Like, say, if you write a game in Windows, it goes through Proton, which translate into Linux code.
Yeah, which is kind of like Wine.
Sorry?
Kind of like the Wine emulator we talked about.
Yes. Proton is built off of Wine emulator, so they're practically one and the same now. Yeah, and it's like, it's impressive, but not too useful. I mean, once Nintendo drops support for the Switch, I guess it could become useful, but right now it's not really useful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just something interesting to see. I mean, who knows it would be very interesting to see Steam running on the Switch too. I don't know how well it would run games there, because like, even though the Switch 2 is a lot more powerful, it still needs like a lot of optimization for the specific hardware. But yeah, not really anything substantial or anything, but it's just kind of a little interesting thing to see, like, oh hey, Steam is now running on the original Switch.
Okay, moving topics. I have a very, very unpopular opinion about this next topic. So, a lot of people know that on Android you can install apps that are like third-party apps and they're not verified and whatnot. They're just from a random app from the internet. You don't have to go through the Play Store to download it or anything. You just download a file, install it. And they implemented new rules where you either have to be verified as a developer, or if you're not verified as a developer, the person installing the app has to wait 24 hours to be able to install the app on any Android phone. This is unpopular opinion, but I agree with Google. I know I'm going to get hate for this. I know people are going to be upset with me, but installing an APK is great. It's amazing. I have like 40 apps that are APKs and not installed on my phone itself, because not installed from the Google Play Store. And I don't see a problem with this, because this is a one-time 24-hour wait. This is not every single app you have to wait. You have to wait 24 hours. This is, If you want to install APKs that are unverified by Google Play or the developer Play console, in other words, a random app that Hobo Joe made, if you want to install that app, you have to wait 24 hours and restart your device. I don't see a problem with that because I have to wait 1 day and then I never have to do this process again. And this is absolutely for security. I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, this is not for security, but this is pretty obviously for security because think about your grandma. If your grandma can install an APK that's a quite literal Trojan virus, even though the phone's like, hey, this app's not verified, and she's like, oh, but this person told me to install this app over the phone. That's why the 24-hour waiting period ends. A scammer is not going to be on the phone with you for 24 hours. And when you restart your device, it ends a phone call when you restart your device. So this seriously is for the benefit of security. A lot of people disagree, and they're like, this is Google trying to get money out of everyone, trying to control people. Are you that impatient? You can't wait 1 day, one time to install apps. I mean, yeah, it's slightly annoying, but it's a good thing all in all.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I don't have an Android, so I'm not really involved in this, but I get both sides mainly because I think the people who don't like it, their reasoning is that not necessarily of what they're doing right now. It's just what could come in the future. Now that they're implementing this, I think people are probably scared. They're like, hey, they're kind of starting to take control of this. They might in the future like do something. But I do get the security points. That example is like a prime example. But like for me, like it makes sense, but like it's only one time. So that means after that the scammer could still do it. So I don't know. It makes sense. I I I mean, there's just some things about it to me that are a bit like oh, it's only one time. That's a bit odd. But overall, I definitely see why, and I honestly think it's a good thing, but I definitely do see both sides in it. But I think for now it's fine. I just mainly think, like I said, people think that now that they've done this, that they're stepping up to do something more, like something like that.
Yeah. It's complicated because I know Android is an open source platform where you can install anything you want in any way you want. But at the same time, this is a major hurdle for people who don't know anything about tech and people who try to take advantage of that limited knowledge of tech. I see this as a good thing to do because let's say your grandma is on a phone call. She's getting scammed. If she restarts her phone, it ends the phone call. What are the chances she's going to remember to call them back and they be able to get the same person on the line that's trying to scam her and pick up where they left off after restart her phone? It's a good way to stop it from happening, but it's not foolproof, obviously. What would be foolproof is blocking sideloading in of itself. But that causes a major problem because Android's open source and everyone loves installing third-party apps. So this, I think, is one of the best middle grounds that they could have taken, but I know a lot of people are upset because this could become something bad in the future.
I don't know, maybe like after the initial thing, maybe like you would just have to every time you did, you would just have to like wait an hour and then your phone would restart. I don't know. I don't know,
No,
but
that would drive everyone insane, though, because for example, I have a YouTuber that I watch that has 23 of the best Android apps of this month, and he has just a bunch of apps. A lot of them aren't on the Play Store, and if I had to wait an hour during the video, every single time he had an app that he recommended not from Play Store, I would be waiting 5 hours to finish that video.
yeah, but yeah, like I said, right now I think it's fine. And like your example, that is a very good example, and I think that this will be very good for that case. But I can kind of see the other side a bit. But something else that I would definitely say is not good, period, is that 23 news outlets are blocking the the Internet Archival Wayback Machine, which is a thing that basically takes a snapshot of a website and then uploads it so you can go back and look at old websites. Well, they are blocking it because they're afraid that AI will abuse this or something like that. But I honestly don't get that argument at all.
Yeah, that argument doesn't make any sense for the fact that is they're not blocking AI crawling bots. They're blocking the Wayback Machine. And the Wayback Machine is not an AI crawler. What it does is it looks at a website, takes all the information off of it, and stores it in a server. So in other words, like 20, 50 years down the line, you can see this news article that was preserved, or this debate that the presidents had back in 1950, for example. And it's a great thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to have historical accuracy because web pages go away, websites vanish, information gets changed over time. And having this is what it was back then is a great thing to have. And for them to block it, it's very suspicious. Like, are you trying to hide something of some sort? What is going on here? Why is the reason you're trying to block it?
Yeah, the whole argument of the AI doesn't make sense to me because, like you said, they didn't already block AI crawlers. If they were worried about AI, they should do something else because guess what? AI can just go to the website. They don't have to use the Internet Archive to do it. And, like, I guess the argument was like they didn't want AI to train on their old websites, but AI is already training on your website. You're not really doing anything about that, at least in my opinion, from what I know. So, I like you said, it seems suspicious. They're probably just covering up because misinformation, all this stuff. The person who publishes articles on these websites, they can edit it whenever they want and change the information. So I think the main reason actually is because they're afraid that they'll need to change something and they don't want people to remember or know what they said originally. And blocking the Wayback Machine is a way that they can actually do that. And overall, I do not like this because the Wayback Machine's like a really good thing. I really like it. At least in my experience, it doesn't work half the time, but I still really like it.
Yeah, I mean, for this example, think about the news organization just putting a lock on a kitchen cabinet. They put a bike lock on the kitchen cabinet. If you walk into that person's house, you're going to be like, what's in that kitchen cabinet? Why is there a bike lock on that kitchen cabinet? What is it doing there? It's just a kitchen cabinet. What's going to be there? That's kind of what they're trying to do. It's like, maybe there's just cups in that cabinet, but we don't know if there's cups in that cabinet. It may be something that they're trying to hide, but they won't show us what's in that cabinet. I mean, if we ask them, they'll let us see what's in it, but they can lock it back up and then never show us again. With the Wayback Machine, they couldn't have the bike lock wasn't there. You could just at any time see what's in there.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't get the point behind it. Overall, I think they're just trying to hide stuff. Either that or they just want to be more proprietary with their website. But I think they're mainly just trying to hide stuff and probably with proprietary stuff like that. But something else that does not make sense at all and just kind of makes the argument fall apart is that Netgear is now unbanned. I think we talked about it in a previous episode that the FCC has effectively banned all foreign made routers, which is basically every router. Well, they've announced that Netgear is now not banned, which literally breaks down their entire argument. And this
Yeah.
also has, like, it's just so stupid.
Netgear is a Chinese or Taiwanese company that makes routers. The point of banning the routers was so we don't have any foreign-made routers in the US. So, if we don't have foreign-made routers in the US, we're going to unban the company we banned that makes foreign routers. What was the point of the ban? What was the point? And the thing is, Netgear didn't reach out and be like, hey, we're going to strive to be amazing for you guys and we're going to make factories in the US. They never said that. They never did that. I'm just thoroughly confused. And why that one? Netgear is one of the cheaper companies. It's one of the cheaper ones. If I couldn't trust someone, I would not trust the cheaper ones. I'm just. This law or this rule or whatever it was, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It doesn't make any sense. This ban doesn't make sense because if you're banning routers, ban the routers. That makes sense. I mean, completely ignoring the fact that we don't have any American-made routers. But why Netgear? Why not any of the other ones? This is thoroughly just like you are allowing that one. Why? Why that one? Why not a better company? I mean, I'm sure there's probably nothing like wrong with Netgear, but that's just why that one? Why that one? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Ban them or don't ban them. Don't select a couple of them that are you think are better, even though they aren't better at all. I mean, maybe there's something we don't know. Maybe there's FBI workers that are surveilling the company or something. I don't know. Who knows? But at the same time, Netgear, out of all of them, why? And it's not an American-made router.
Yeah, this does not make sense to me, and this honestly actually goes back to the drone ban because um okay, so again, ignoring the fact that with the router and the drone ban, we don't have really anything in the US. Let's just take a look at their argument about security. If it was about security, why are they allowing Netgear to do it? If it's about security, why are they allowing old DJI drones to be flown and current DJI drones? If it was really about security, why would they be doing that? Now, I saw a video and it was kind of talking about how there was like one American manufacturer, and it was talking about how this decision may have been made to kind of create a monopoly, which I have no idea if that's true. But all I'm saying is that this argument, not only for the routers, but for the DJI drones and basically everything else, is honestly fake, in my opinion, just because of what they've done here with allowing Netgear, with allowing old models of the DJI drones to be sold. They can update that old model at any time to start sending data to China. They can update that Netgear router at any time to start sending your internet traffic to China. So, if it was about security, why are they doing that? It just doesn't make any sense to me if that was the actual reason why they were doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they even know what they're talking about half the time. I'm going to put it out there. I don't think they know what they're talking about. I mean, and maybe they do know what they're talking about, but from the outside perspective, if you don't tell us the reasons why you're doing something, we don't understand at all. I mean, we're discussing this right now. Like, why did they do this? They didn't tell us why they did this. They just did it. And another thing that Windows won't tell us is how secure recall isn't. Windows has rolled out recall multiple times, and they've recalled recall multiple times because the first time they put out recall, it stored everything in a text document that could be read by anyone. Like everything that happened on your computer could be was like read on a text document. Okay, they had to roll it back. Try again. Okay, now it's encrypted, but it's not encrypted like very well. Okay, so they had to roll it back. Okay, now it's encrypted, but not encrypted to any other user on the computer. Okay, so they had to roll it back. I'll let you finish this because this is just stupid.
Yeah, so basically, um, a cybersecurity expert named Alexander Haganah, I'm not sure how you pronounce
I
his
can
name.
all.
Um, I don't know. But he developed a tool that effectively uh, goes into the recall environment. I'm not exactly sure how this works, so don't quote me or whatever. Either way, he found out a way to get into it. after Microsoft already implemented this stuff. And yeah, he told Microsoft, he was like, "Hey, I just broke in," and Microsoft was like, "Hey, we have this protection in there. It's not really a big deal." What? What do you mean it's not a big deal? He literally just hacked into it and then showed you how he did it. And you're saying it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
What? It doesn't. It's so stupid. Like,
I
Microsoft better fix
but
this if
I
they're gonna
just what
supposedly make Windows better. Like, Windows K2 better fix this.
I highly doubt Windows K2 is going to fix this because it's AI and Microsoft is a dumpster fire. I don't think they'll be able to fix this whatsoever. Because recall is just a bad idea. Because recall stores everything on your computer in one spot, and it doesn't know what it's storing half the time. It just stores data upon data upon data. It takes a screenshot basically every second or every 5 seconds or something like that. This is just a security nightmare. Even if you have the best security practices in place, you're just putting data in one spot for anyone to get, somehow, one way or another. And it's AI, and AI is not, it's not foolproof. You can trick an AI to say practically anything you want. Even a guy, earlier today, I sent a video to a group chat of a guy asking which month of the year has X in its name. And ChatGPT said December has X in it. What do you mean?
Yeah, and the thing about that is, like, it will contradict itself as it's telling you why it's right. Or, like, I don't know if you've seen the videos where they'll ask AI to set a timer. It'll be like, "Okay," and then they'll say, "Go." Wait 1 second, and then say stop, and they'll be like, "How long was it?" And it'll be like, "That was 2 minutes and like whatever, or 1 hour," when it was literally 1 second. And we're or like, for instance, I don't know if you remember the bug where if you asked Google AI Overview if 2026 was the next year, it'd say it wasn't, but then it would say it is, but it wasn't. Well,
Mhm.
actually, that's actually back now for 2027. Are we really trusting this to take over the world? I'm sorry, but uh,
Yeah.
I don't think we're. It's just crazy.
Well, more AI news. Google has released a new AI feature, of course, in YouTube this time. It's called Ask YouTube, where, in other words, if you don't know what to watch or you're trying to find something, you can describe what you want to watch to YouTube chatbot that recommends videos to you, which in of itself doesn't sound too bad, just completely useless. There's something called a For You page. You open it, and there's the videos right there. I don't need to ask it about videos or anything like that. And if it's like a DIY project, like maybe installing a bathroom drain plug or something like that, I can just use search. But okay.
Yeah. See, this is also another problem with AI. They're making all these features that at the end of the day are useless. For instance, YouTube has been rolling out a ton of AI slot features for actually creating videos, and they're so horrible. Like, making your short entirely generated by it, or there's so many features in AI features in YouTube that don't make any sense or are useless. Honestly, I'd say the only AI feature in YouTube that I actually like use sometimes and is good is like the thing where it can like summarize the video. Even that has flaws, but that's decent. But why would you need this? If you're trying to find a video about, like you said, installing a drain or whatever, just search for it. You don't need to have AI doing it. And it's just like they're developing all this AI, but there's not really a good use case for it, honestly.
hmm Well, what makes even less sense is Google's new G6 chip that has a GPU from 2021. What are we doing, Google? Your Tensor chips have been behind for 7 years. They've been behind. No, never the best performance, never the best at this. And guess what? They're finally catching up in CPU performance. Finally. Sort of, not really. Kind of. But then you decide to put the GPU from 2021 back into that phone chip. This GPU is nowhere near the performance of any other chip on the market. Exynos is better than you. Snapdragon obviously is better than you. Even MediaTek's best chips are better than that stupid PowerVR GPU that you just put in the Google Tensor. And the thing is, they've upgraded the CPU and they've upgraded the NPU on the device. They just didn't upgrade the GPU.
Honestly, I don't get Google when it comes to this. Like, this is honestly one of the reasons why, like, I don't necessarily want to switch to Pixel, because the chips are very low power, very, and like outdated. This GPU from 5 years ago, like, I edit some videos on my phone, like nothing big or anything, but I don't want to be using a GPU from 5 years ago. Like, even if it's not the best GPU, they could have at least updated it. And like, this is on, like I said, this is like one of the reasons why I at least wouldn't switch to Google, because their chips are so outdated when it comes to other chips. And I don't get why they can't just make the chip more powerful or use a Snapdragon chip or something. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Google's Tensor chips, they need to be worked on by someone else, because Google is just throwing away a good market share that's just like, I would get a Pixel, but it's just not as good as the other ones. Just like how Oracle, Microsoft, and Meta are throwing away employees due to AI. I'll let you take this over because they're just getting rid of people for practically no reason.
Yeah, so Oracle, like you said, Oracle, Microsoft, and Meta are expanding their layoffs of thousands of different jobs, um, which has resulted in a 25 percent drop in stock for, I think, Oracle this year. Overall, this is not good, and this just shows another downside of AI. People are losing their jobs. Like, this again, like I just said, there's not really much to say here. This is not good. People who need a job, yet they're getting cut off because AI is replacing their job, and AI is not even that good. It's going to be making a bunch of mistakes. Like, I just saw something from Elon Musk the other day saying that, basically acknowledging that AI will replace all of your jobs, but you can just file for unemployment, and AI totally won't cause inflation. I'm like, what do you mean? AI has already caused inflation. It's caused the RAM shortage. It's started to cause some GPU shortages. It's causing people to lose their jobs, which all of that in turn has caused prices to go up, aka inflation. What do you mean? And also, since when is it that easy to get high income unemployment? I'm no money person. I don't know much about that. But I don't think it's that easy to get high income unemployment. And even then, it's still not going to be as flexible as another job.
Yeah. But
This is honestly
the
just
only
depressing.
redeeming quality of this is that Microsoft is doing it differently, and they're just offering early retirement for some people. Like, you get a retirement package which has like extra money in it for you guys. So you people who are a little bit older, you can retire right now with a little bit of extra bonus. And that's the only positive to this whole entire side I can see. That's it.
Yeah, that's at least good. But, I mean, for the people who aren't in retirement time, they need a job. And because, like, a lot of jobs like this are, like, more high paying jobs, and, like, you can't really find other things in that ballpark because they're all starting these layoffs. And it's honestly just kind of depressing, like I said. Like, how many jobs will be cut in the next 5 years? Who knows? Probably a lot.
Yeah, especially as AI actually starts getting somewhat more useful in the workplace, more jobs will be going away.
Alright, so moving on to our speed run section of a few more quick topics. The EU age verification app has been hacked, and Yeah, I watched the video. The person literally screen recorded him watching it, screen recorded him hacking it. So I saw the whole process, and basically, from what I know, you can basically reset the encrypted password by deleting a file in the code and tricking it into like adding a new one. I'm not 100% sure about that. Overall, this is
Yeah,
just
age
not
verification is
good.
just broken in every single way. And they tried to make an app, and the app didn't work because you can break into the app and say you're verified even when you're not verified, which is absolutely stupid because, I mean, it was 2 minutes. He screen recorded himself doing it in 2 minutes. And that shows you how simple it is to break into these kind of things. You can't verify someone's perfect identity 100% at all online. Let's think about the US government. There was an article the other day that they accidentally hired a North Korean hacker for like a government job. Yeah, and moving on to the next topic, we got DaVinci Resolve 21 has a photo editor inside of it, which advanced color school tools and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Uh, I don't think I'll be interested in. I personally edit my photos in Adobe Lightroom, but maybe it'll be cool.
Yeah, I personally really like this just because it's a free, more open source ish. It's not technically open source, but I like seeing free alternatives, or at least alternatives that aren't as shady in some areas when it comes to like Adobe.
Mm.
I haven't used it yet because I don't use DaVinci Resolve, and I don't know. I probably will try it though. Overall, that's really good. But another thing when it comes to prices, uh, Meta is raising prices for the Quest lineup. The Quest 3 is going to be um $600 now, and then it will be $350 for the Quest 3S now. So this is not good. And again, they said it was due to market conditions and shortages and stuff, which is honestly kind of funny to me since Meta contributes to the RAM shortage because they're an AI, or at least they're trying to be an AI company, which is just kind of funny. Overall, not good. And again, the RAM shortage hitting at full speed, again, depressing.
Yeah. And another useless product that's coming out is Toyota's new limited edition gaming chair, which is quite literally like a seat from a Toyota Corolla just strapped to a bottom base of a chair, which is, it's not even a good chair. It's not a good chair. It has plastic wheels on the bottom. It's like, I mean, it has a rechargeable battery and USB-C seat buckle. What? USB-C seat buckle?
The
That it
little seat buckle port, they left it on and just put a USB-C port in it.
that's actually kind of funny. That's actually kind of funny. This is more like a this seems more like an April Fool's prank than anything, but they're actually selling this product, which is absolutely kind of insane.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's a car chair. Since when have car chairs, even the most comfortable car chairs out there, are not known compared to an actual office chair to be comfortable? Oh, and by the way, only 70 units. It's like $3,000 or something, and it's only available in Japan. So,
Mm.
yay! If
And it's
you
expensive.
want it.
How much was it again? Wasn't it like
Um,
$2,500?
I'm not sure,
Or is it three
but
thousand
it
five
was
hundred?
really
It's $3,500.
yes, 3,500. Outrageous. That is crazy for a chair.
Well, something also kind of useless. ChatGPT Images 2.0. It's a new photo image generation tool, which I kind of, besides making memes, I do not like AI image generation whatsoever. It's now higher resolution. It now has better thinking capabilities. Okay,
Which means
whoop-de-doo,
nothing.
hooray.
The whole thing of it, they say it now can think means nothing. What does that mean?
Yeah,
Um,
my
um,
image can think now.
and yeah, I've used it, and honestly, it doesn't look that good. Like, it does not look that much better. It just looks a bit. It looks like it generated the image in 1.0, and then use AI to upscale an AI generated image, kind of. Also, ChatGPT has not made any effort to implement any sort of identification that it's an AI image,
Yeah,
which is also very bad. I really hate it when they don't do that. Thankfully, I still think it's bad enough that most people would be able to tell. But
yeah. Like with
I
Google's
don't
Nano
like it.
Banana 2.1, I think it is. It's like seriously good. If you put photorealistic in the prompt, it looks nearly identical to real life, and it's really hard to tell it's fake. That's why they introduced Synth ID, which is like a watermark inside of the code of the picture itself. So if you take the picture and you upload it somewhere, everything knows it's AI because inside the photo itself has the ID of the AI-ness of it. And you can't take it out without ruining the picture in the process. That's impressive. And the fact that ChatGPT has not introduced that kind of shows where ChatGPT's morals are, which is they don't care.
Yeah, Sam1 doesn't care. He just wants money. And wrapping out our speedrun category, the Steam controller is coming out in like a few weeks, and it looks okay. I've watched a few reviews, and apparently it's a very good controller, but not like anything necessarily too special. I mean, I think the like uh trackpad, I forgot the word for it, but
Touchpads.
yes, those. I mean, that's kind of cool, but also the PS5 controller has it. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I don't think people care about this controller. I think they're mainly interested in the Steam machine, which we still don't know too much about, but yeah.
I mean, it's a really high quality controller. It's like it has electromagnetic sticks, which are really cool. It has like rumble, which basically every single controller has that. The shoulder buttons are, I heard some people complain about them by not being like tense enough and they're too loose or like two stopping points and not like full range or something like that. So the Steam controller is pretty good and it's like $100, which is a pretty good price point compared to like Xbox controllers like 150, 200, and the DualSense Edge controller from Sony is like $250. But the qualities start fading away when you look at like Myrtle Beach controllers or like third party controllers are better in like every single way. So if you really like Steam controllers or like touchpads, yeah, it'll be a good controller. But I'm personally probably not going to buy one if I have the choice. I'm going to buy one that looks less ugly because, unpopular opinion, it looks ugly. I'm going to say
Yeah,
that. It's
I think we said in one of our episodes that it looks like it's growing tumors or something like that.
Yep. Well, that's it for our speed round today.
All right, everyone, that is it for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see y'all for more tech news in the next one.
See ya.